A story which may have slipped under the radar a little is a High Court decision about 2 days ago by Justice Fordham, who complained that Suella Braverman and the Home Office had failed to raise the amount of money given to asylum seekers. So the amount is now being raised on a mandatory basis. The High Court has issued a mandatory order forcing the Home Secretary to implement an immediate increase in the rate of asylum support of £45, which will affect 85,000 asylum seekers immediately, and it will cost £18 million a year. Now, all of this would be, broadly speaking, unnecessary if the Home Office were processing people more quickly. The go slow in the Home Office is costing us big amounts of money, and it's all to do with the obsession that Suella Braverman and her predecessors, maybe we should say, have had with making this a hostile environment. This hostile environment is costing us dear. It's costing us in terms of money, it's costing us in terms of reputation, and I think it's costing us in terms of our moral centre, our heart. You know, when you look to the Christmas story, Jesus and his family were also asylum seekers. In the story, they go, whether it's true or not, the story is there. In the story, they go to Egypt, claiming asylum, and then return. So asylum is part of the message of Christmas. It's there, as is giving in the story of St. Nicholas and the idea of Santa Claus. These two things are lacking in the Home Office. Utterly lacking. I think it's a significant slap for the Home Office administration by our senior judges. It's a failure. It's a failure to take into account relevant matters. That's what the judge says. A failure to consider, a failure to do the right thing. But it is a failure nevertheless. And it's something, as I say, which has slipped in the last couple of days and that has been largely overlooked because of so many other sensational headlines from Ukraine or indeed from North America and the dreadful weather conditions. Or indeed the absurd interpretations of the prophecies of Nostradamus, over which maybe we should have a giggle, but, you know, nobody can stand aside and say that the future is bright and hopeful. The future looks grim. The future looks grim, but we must face it with as much optimism and as much positivity and forethought and determination as we possibly can. And that means that determination, that positivity, that kindness, that optimism begins now and begins at home and begins with people who have arrived on our doorstep and look to us for support and leadership.